For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. The takeaway of my life is that you can take a traumatic situation or somebody who's an average person who's living just a normal life and truly do something extraordinary, a bigger and above and beyond thing that you thought imaginable. And it doesn't matter where you physically are and what you think you're capable of doing. I think that if you really believe in yourself, you have faith, you have a good support system, that anything is possible. And I think people really need to know that they need to believe in themselves and love themselves and not give up. You know, they need to fight. They need to fight through it. Because there are I've been through the fire. I've definitely been through the fire and been through really hard days, really dark days, really hard, just traumatic, days you just are just so sad and angry on an emotional level you just have never experienced. And I just know that if you just keep going, you can get through all of that to the other side, where there's so much beauty and so much joy and so much light and love. And I just hope that people can take something from my life and my story to help them in theirs.
Natalie, as a child, as a baby, she was a little bit different than your normal baby in that she was always very tiny. That always gave her a little bit more attention. So going off to kindergarten, she was like the smallest one in school.
She talked a lot. It separated her where she found out things to say, but everybody told her to be quiet. And I didn't know where to put her because you're touching me, so go sit over here, and then we'll move you over here. And, but it was funny. Your kids.
Because we are close in age and we're both girls, we fought a lot until we got kind of about 16, her 18, we're 2 years apart, where we became more friends. But growing up, we did get along, but we bickered. You know, she was a friend. She was an enemy at times, but we loved each other. And Natalie loved to play Barbies. I was not a Barbie fan, but Natalie liked to play Barbies. We played the Easy Bake Oven. We both enjoyed that. And just hanging out with our friends, riding bikes, playing with Chuck on the driveway. Little girl things, typical things. I don't think I was the bossy one. Could be her.
Shut up.
Not me.
You know, growing up, I think Natalie being a little closer to age and her and I sometimes would kind of tag team together on this one a little bit. But same as Melissa, I mean, we kind of battled a little as brother and sister. But as we got older, her and I became really good friends, and we'd hang out together, go out together. So it was nice.
Natalie used to babysit me a lot. I remember her sort of taking me to hang out with her friends. I always thought that was pretty fun, being a kid growing up. I remember a lot of times she would take me to the beach with her friends, and it was always kind of cool being able to hang out with her and her friends and getting to tag along.
And when she was about 20, it was fun for me to go to the beach with her and her friends.
My name is Beth, and Natalie and I first met in 5th grade, the very first day of 5th grade. We were 10 years old. And our first class was library, and I was new to the school, and I was nervous because I didn't know anybody. And library, her last name started with a B, my last name started with a C. She turned to me and said, "Do you want to sit with me at lunch?" And that's just Natalie's personality. She was like, welcoming, and immediately we became very best friends. We were inseparable.
She tried baseball for a little bit. She's not very good at that. She tried track, was not very good at that as well. And she did cheerleading, which she was very good at.
And then we ended up cheerleading and trying out for cheerleading together and made the team. And of course, that was really exciting. Just she never stopped hanging out.
I don't know if we had like a clown per se. What do you think?
I would think maybe more so Michael, because he actually did more of the pranks, like with turning cars and stupid stuff like that. So he was more of the prankster. So I guess you could classify him that. Natalie, I would put more as the more perfectionist, but not a perfectionist. But she was closer to it than I think the three of us were, at least between us three, not so much him. He's a lot younger, so he's just the oddball.
I'd say now he's more the perfectionist.
Yes, now he is. But growing up, it would be her.
They were all a pain in my butt.
She had resilience as a child. Again, she was always on the very small side. And so she was that center of attention, if you will. So not only was she a center of attention, but it also drew more attention to her. And so she had to, maybe go that little bit extra just to overcome some of that, to, be determined to say, well, I can do it too. And I think that just followed her through everything that she did. I did see her as a leader, not only with her siblings, but even with her friends. She would be the one that would organize, going out with a group of friends or going to a function, going to the football game, whatever. She'd kind of rally the troops, if you will. And those, her friends just gravitated around her. A lot of times they would follow along with her.
There was always the planner, always, let's do this. And of course, I just was like, okay, let's do that. But yeah, she was, she always got us all together.
Natalie had a lot of passion, even as a child. She would find this stray little kitten and bring it home to nurture it, or take care of the hamster that we had. She would be the one that would take it out and pet it. All of our kids did, but she just seemed that one that was a little bit more caring in that regard. Just her compassion for people, for help, for people, and helping people. You could just see that she was going to do something great with her life in that regard. I think she struggled a little bit right after high school of what direction she wanted to go into. And when she found physical therapy, the program she entered, it was like day and night in her. Her demeanor changed, her passions grew, and you could just see that this was a path for her and that she was excelling in it.
That was fine by me. It's her choice. She could have been anything she wanted to be. Of course, you can always use a physical therapist. But yeah, I was happy with the choice she made.
911, what is your emergency?
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5.
The day of the accident, I was actually on the phone with Natalie, and we were going to be for lunch with my grandson and my other daughter. And she was telling me, don't be late, because she only got an hour for lunch. And we hung up the phone, and about 10 minutes later, it rang, and it was someone from her work. And they said there was an accident. It's not life-threatening. They're taking her to ECMs. And the paramedic actually got on the phone then, and he said, she's conscious and it isn't life-threatening, but we're going to take her to ECMC. And I asked, can we take her to Buffalo General? That's where her physician is at. And they said, no, this is trauma. We have to go to ECMC. And so we hung up, and I immediately went and got my daughter, said, call your dad, tell him what happened. I'm on the way to ECMC.
I was at my parents' house with my son. I had an almost 2-year-old, and my mother had called me on the phone and told me. And immediately I called my son's other grandmother and told her and dropped him off right away and went right to the hospital.
I still remember the exact spot I was at. I was in a van with my partner, and my daughter, Melissa, called and said, Dad, Allie's been in an accident, but it's not life-threatening. We drove back to the shop, and she was taking the ECMC, so I wanted to get there as fast. I was afraid my boss over coming to the door. I said, I'll leave it. I said, my daughter was in an accident, I'll go it. I drove to the hospital with my partner. We were close at work. He ended up showing out, and it was devastating to go and hear what happened to her.
I remember where I was. I was working at Shanghai Reds, and I remember having my phone in our locker, and they got a hold of me on the restaurant phone. When I went and grabbed my cell phone, I think I had like 19 or 20 missed phone calls, text messages. So when I took that phone call in the restaurant, I sort of beelined it right out of there afterward.
I honestly don't really remember that much. I think I was at home, and I don't know that anybody really told me flat out what had happened right away. I'm sure they didn't want to break the news that hard to I think I was 13 at the time. But I think I was at home and somebody came to pick me up to bring me to the hospital.
I had no idea what I was going to walk into. As soon as I walked into the room with Natalie, her first words to me is, Mom, my life is over. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. And she said, no, you have no idea how bad this is. It's really bad. My life is over. She said, my neck is on fire. And I tried to reassure her, saying, look, there's swelling, you're here, and they're going to take care of you. It's not going to be bad. And her background told her that it was really severe. She couldn't feel her body. She said it was like it was floating, and she couldn't tell where it was. The physician came in and shared the results of the CAT scan and said she needs to get into surgery right now. And within minutes of her actually being in the hospital, she got taken into surgery.
Just hope that she makes it through it. First thought was that I hope she lives.
I was in my car, I was driving, and Mary Lynn called me. I was actually on my way to visit my girlfriend that just had her baby. Mary Lynn called and she said, Natalie's been in an accident and it's not good. And I said, do you want me to turn around? She said, I'm going to visit someone. And she's like, there's nothing you can do at this point.
You trust the doctors. And they came out of surgery, and his first words to me is, she's never going to walk again. And I'm like, that just kind of takes you back. You just don't even know how to react. And I'm like, well, is she going to be okay? And he said, the first 24 hours will let us know. And so you're just trying to comprehend all of this and take it all in. And you're in such shock, you don't even know what questions to ask or where to turn.
You have to stay strong, because she can't see that fear in you. So you try to stay strong for her. And this is all new to us. So it's new to everybody. And we don't know what to do any more than anybody else at this point.
All I can remember is I know that she was on a ventilator. I don't think she was conscious. I can't really remember if she was or not. She was on a ventilator. She had broke some bones. She had a really bad spinal cord injury. And it was just very somber in the waiting room, just kind of with my parents there and nothing you could do. nothing you could say to make it feel better. Just wait and pray.
It was hard, it was hard to go daily, and it was not pretty. So
There's a lot of different ways that you can cope, but going through something like this, you've never experienced it, nor did we know anyone else that experienced this type of an injury. And so it was all new, but fortunately we have a strong faith, and we had we met a pastor that came into the waiting room and sat with us. He prayed with us, and we met another family that was going through it, and that gave us some encouragement. There were a lot of ups and downs in the initial days after her surgery. So, one day things were looking really positive, and then the next day there would be challenges that she was facing. And so having that faith to get through that, and having another family that was going through the same thing, certainly helped us in those days right after.
Definitely remember being at the hospital. I remember, my family being there, and it was just a really upsetting time. I remember a lot of people crying there, and everything was so uncertain. We didn't really know what was going to happen and what things meant for Natalie at the time.
I called the hospital and Melissa answered, her sister. And she told me that Natalie was never going to walk again. So that was pretty dusty.
Trying to stay positive for Natalie initially, she didn't even know what had happened. And so we tried to be her advocate for her, and trying to make sure that they were doing everything that needed to be done for her to have the proper care. That's all we could do at that time.
I was sort of pissed at the same time. I remember calling a couple of my buddies, and we went to, where her accident had happened. Like, I wanted to see it for myself. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to, kind of find out what happened and how it could possibly have happened.
We all wanted to know, how could something like this happen? Like, how? And we didn't know. So yeah, we were pissed. I was numb. It was like a reoccurring nightmare.
God has a reason for allowing things to happen. We may never understand his wisdom, but we simply have to trust his will. Psalm 37:5. I think I remember every single thing about that day. I remember what I wore. I remember what I did the day before. I remember going shopping because I had a weekend trip planned with my boyfriend at the time to go wine tasting. So I remember going shopping for an outfit. The morning of, I was working with patients. I remember just prior to the injury calling my mom on the phone because I was going to be meeting her for lunch that day. And because I had bought a pair of pants the day before, she was getting them altered. So I called her on the phone, said, "Don't forget the pants when you come to meet me for lunch." And she's like, "I got them." I hung up the phone with her, and she says that the injury must have just happened right after that because she got a call like not even 5 minutes after I had spoken to her. I remember the injury vividly, I remember that piece of equipment coming down on me. And, people always say like life flashes, like your life flashes before your eyes, but it's in an emotion. It's like an emotion of like pure fear that in that second, I knew how bad this was about to be. Like I felt all this weight coming down on me, and I knew like it was so bad. And when it happened, I was laying on the floor. I remember it took like 5 people to get it off of me, and I couldn't feel the weight of my body on the ground. Like I had no perception of my body at all, except the excruciating pain I was in my neck. And I was terrified. And I think part of that was my schooling and education, knowing what was happening, that I knew I was paralyzed. And the EMTs got to me right away. We got to the hospital super quick. I know I was in surgery within 4 hours, but I remember speaking to my mom in the hospital, like, my life is over. Like, you don't know how bad this is. And she was trying to assure me, you don't know, there's swelling and all of these things. And I'll never forget telling her that, like, no, you don't understand. My life is over. And that's how I felt. Like, I was a mess that day. But definitely the worst day of my life. I had a lot of support. My mother, my parents obviously were there all the time, every day. Siblings as well. My best friend Beth was always there.
So I ended up, I went every single day. I couldn't help it. I just needed to see her. I needed to help her, do anything I could do to make her more comfortable. She was in the ICU for 10 days, and then she was in a regular room for like 2 months at ECMC. And yes, every day I came to visit her.
I think early on, my mom had to start, she had my phone and had to start, monitoring who was coming in to visit, because it was just too much for me.
I got her cell phone, and I started getting calls from clients, the people that she worked with, and they were commenting about, she's the only one that made therapy fun. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't go to therapy. I don't know what I would have did without her. And I was a little taken back, thinking, this is my child.
And I was having a hard time letting people see me like that, because I couldn't speak. One of my vocal cords was paralyzed. And it was just hard, because you just felt like everybody was coming in there and feeling bad for you and just staring at you. And I couldn't communicate. I couldn't move. Yeah, so in the early days, the early days in the hospital were a bit of a blur. I was, pretty sedated after surgery. And as I started to come around, I don't think I really was processing it yet. I didn't cry. Aside from the day it happened, I knew what was going on, but it's almost like your emotions shut down because your body's trying to heal. But I do remember the first day that I did cry. It was about 3 weeks after the injury, and it was like, all of a sudden it hit me what was happening, and the reality that this was not a nightmare. And the floodgates just came open, and then I just lost it. That this was really happening. And I just felt like, this can't be my life. I have dreams, I have plans. How is this my life? This wasn't supposed to happen to me. And you can't even wrap your mind around it. It is just so much bigger than you, and you're just living this nightmare that you just feel like you're gonna wake up from. It's a devastation on a level I never ever had experienced before.
But she let me know what she wanted and what was going to help her get through that. She right away, because she couldn't talk, mouthed to me what she wanted. She wanted to hear Natalie Merchant on the CD. And so I brought a CD on a boombox, and because it was 20 years ago. And she listened to Natalie Merchant, and it helped her get through, what was happening. She couldn't move, so at least she could have some music to listen to help her get through it. Yeah, it was tough.
You're just so scared of, what is going to happen to me? What's my life going to be like? I can't live like this. And I just felt like I can't live like this. I don't know how to live like this. I am so blessed, though, that I had that support with family and friends, especially in that early time, and people advocating, with doctors and the rehab specialists, and, eventually getting me to the Shepherd Center in Atlanta. And having that support system around me was huge. I don't know where I'd be without them.
So as a parent, you just want to help your child. You want to take their pain away, no matter how they get, they fall and skin their knee. And what do? You pick them up, you hug them, it's going to be okay. And with this type of an injury, you can't do that. You're so helpless to really try to fix it. And you can't.
There was so much fear. You just can't believe it's you. I have a different perspective now that I can share, but at that time, I was crushed. I felt like everything I had worked for was gone. My career gone. I was dating somebody. I was worried about that relationship early in those first few months, that was going to end, which ultimately did. But I was just terrified. I felt like it was all for nothing because I lost the ability to use my hands. And that was how I helped people. And it was so devastating to me.
As she went through this journey of recovery and was on the rehab floor, she asked me the question, do you think God would give me a gift to heal people and touch people, only to take it away?
I didn't understand why God would give me a gift just to have it taken away.
And I told her, that isn't our God. God gives you these gifts, and you need to trust God with your life. You touched people in a little orthopedic clinic, and I have the proof from the calls that I received. If you trust God with your life, He's going to have so much more in store for you, so many more plans for you, and you're going to touch many more people than you could ever imagine. And I share with her, God gives you a free will.
She prayed with me. She was like, God's not a God that would do that. And she always said that, you're going to touch more people. You'll see. You just need to have faith. I'll be honest, early on, I don't think I could even pray. I was so angry. I had a lot of people praying for me, though. I think I asked a lot of questions to God of why this happened. I don't understand how this happened, why this happened. It took a lot of healing for me to say, well, I'm not any different than anybody else. Why should that person go through this and not me? But at that time, yeah, it was really tough. But I think God was always there giving me that strength to get through and to keep going. And I knew, I wanted to get better. So I had to get through that first 6 months of therapy was the hardest before I got home.
This coconut, this was going to be my new life. I can't, none of us, even though we went through that, I can't imagine
What she goes through. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Either parent can't imagine.
Early in the injury, when I was at ECMC, I shared with my family that I wanted to find somewhere more specialized that was specific to spinal cord injuries. So they started doing some research. They found a few centers across the country, and Shepherd and a center in Colorado, Craig, were two centers my family started looking at. Shepherd Center was a little bit closer, being in Atlanta. So we had decided to make the decision to go there. So I actually flew on a medical jet right from inpatient ECMC to inpatient at Shepherd.
She got great care at ECMC in the trauma unit, great care in their outpatient physical therapy department, but she knew she wanted something more specialized, and there's only a few places in the country that offered that. And so she was transferred down to the Shepherd Center.
I mean, and that was a great day, just because I know she was going to get the therapy she needed, occupational therapy, to learn how to do her makeup, how to eat on her own, kind of get some of those functions back as best as she can. And I do remember it being very frustrating for her when she first got down there to do these things.
I went with her, my husband went with her, and our youngest son. And we flew down, got her situated. Immediately, they did things down at the Shepherd Center that was so different than what was being done up here. They took her neck brace off, and we started to panic because we were told it needed to be on for like 4 months, and this was only 2. They got her up in a wheelchair. She had really been sitting that long in a chair. They took her off some of the meds that she was on, and she started to have some withdrawal.
It was a lot. It was overwhelming. We weren't sure if we made the right decision. The first hour I was there, they're taking my neck collar off, telling me, you don't need this anymore. We're like, are you sure? Thought I was supposed to have this on another couple months, and all these doctors coming in, they're trying to get me up.
We began to think, did we make the wrong decision here? But it ultimately turned out to be the very best decision we could have done for her, just to watch her thrive. So day to day, she went from inpatient, and they had a full day of programs for her. She would get up, we would have breakfast, go down to therapy. She would do therapy all morning. She would have lunch. After lunch, she would go back to therapy and have a full day, a full afternoon, and then we would go back to her world. It was so well set up that they had an apartment for the parent, the caregiver, and so at the end of the evening, I would go back to the apartment, but they had her room set up, and then she had kind of a speed dial to call me on her phone if she needed anything or to call for a nurse.
It was an amazing decision because not only did my family have to learn how to care for me, but I had to take classes as well. And we took them separately. So you could talk about all different topics, bowel, bladder, sex, relationships. And you don't want to talk about some of that stuff with your family or your parents, you know. So it was a really great place to get rehabilitation and to learn how to advocate for yourself after an injury like this, which is so important.
So when I first met Natalie and her mom, then I had gotten information about her before she came. And so I knew she was a physical therapy assistant. I later found out she had become a massage therapist. But anyway, my first impression is that they were from Buffalo, and they had a thick Buffalo accent, which was really different than the South. And they were, you know, no holds barred kind of people. Like, they said it like it was. And that was really good for me because that's kind of who I was. When we started, her injury level was around a C4 level, where you'd only have some weak shoulder movements and weak biceps, but no use of your fingers or wrists. And so the functional prognosis for that is pretty dim because you really have to have all your care done for you, and you're going to have to be in a power wheelchair. But Natalie wasn't having any of that, that's for sure. Her rehab process at Shepherd was tough because she was very limited, and she knew about the stuff, like being a therapist herself. And so, but she kept on working and kind of battling through the pain. And one thing that was really important to her was her makeup. She was a really uber fit person before she got injured, and very stylish. And so we got started on working on her apply her own makeup.
She would get frustrated trying to put on eyeliner with her brace on her hand. And she would get frustrated, and she would fight, and she would try to throw her arms, but just talk to her and kind of calm her down, and she would do it again and again and again.
She's somewhat of a perfectionist, and so if people put on her makeup, it really wasn't the way she wanted it. So she worked really hard in learning how to apply her own makeup, and ended up being kind of a master at that. Like, I wish I could put makeup on like that. You know, we ended up being on a cover of a rehab magazine where she was applying her makeup, and that was a pretty proud moment. You know, the other thing too is that it was very difficult, like emotionally, to be that physically incapacitated is difficult when we're a fiercely independent person, so fit. Like she used to run, and you should see pictures of her. She was like really buff. And there was a lot of adjustments psychologically. It was really tough, and there were some really bad days and up days, but her parents were there the whole time with her and were so supportive, you know, even in the darkest of times.
When I was at the Shepherd Center, I was battling this feeling like I don't want to get out of bed. I was really depressed, yet you want to get better. So you're battling like your heart and your mind, like you want to walk, you want to get better, but you're so sad and you don't want to even get out of bed. So it was hard, but they make you get out of bed. They make you go to rehab. They make you get counseling. And I needed that. I needed that toughness of a rehabilitation place that was going to really help get me out of that funk and help get me going.
There were days that I would just go off by myself because I didn't want Natalie to see my emotions. And I knew I had to be strong for her. And, you know, sometimes I had to push her. Sometimes I had to show her the reality of the injury. And, you know, that was hard. But, you know, you have to make sure that, you know, they understand you're there. You love them. You know, she knew I wasn't going to go anywhere. She knew I had her best interest at heart. I just trying to be as strong as I could for her, as positive as I could for her, and found the little things that maybe she did or could do that made a difference.
But the thing that I kept on telling them was, if I feed you a fish, I feed you for a day, but if I teach you how to fish, I teach you for a lifetime. So I want you guys to become fisherwomen and learn the care, learn what you need to do, see the pitfalls and whatnot. And so they really took that to heart.
Eventually, I was able to go back to Atlanta for the Beyond Therapy program, which is an outpatient activity-based therapy program where I ended up living in a hotel for 4 years.
She ended up, you know, going through various programs at Shepherd and went into Beyond Therapy, which is a kind of boot camp of therapy. You know, it's a beyond outpatient.
I did therapy like 3 days a week. Did therapy at another place 2 days a week. So I was literally doing therapy 5 days a week. I was in this place where it was like more and more and more. How much better could I get? How much more? Like therapy. And I did that for years.
Natalie is the type of person who, you know, didn't want to sit back, but wanted to keep on striving, and she did.
I think being down in Atlanta really helped her, you know, and it was a lot of work. I mean, she was, I think, going to therapy for, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day from a physical therapy standpoint, from a nutritional. She was on a stricter diet there. I mean, really, the program there, I think, helped her tremendously. In her core strength and her physical strength, she could do more things for herself.
So she was diligent and working and trying to squeeze every last ounce of what she could recover. And she did amazing.
When I first got home from Atlanta, and that was like reality hit me like a brick, because I was in this bubble of rehab. And then when I first got home, it was like, now I'm back in my own environment, but everything's different. The dynamic between friends, between family, you know, I couldn't even go down in my own bedroom. We had to switch bedrooms, and, you know, my little brother had to go down in the basement. I had to come upstairs. You know, going out was just different. Being in public felt different. You don't feel like you're you, and you don't even understand your identity yet in a chair. And that was really, really hard to get through. And it was very painful because, you know, I just felt very weak and not like myself at all. And I think I got really angry. You know, I know the second year of my injury was at home, and I wasn't doing a ton of rehab. I think at that time I was doing outpatient rehab at ECMC. And I was just so angry that this happened. And I just think that was part of the process of getting through this.
I mean, you go through all these stages. It's like almost like the stages of grief. You know, she had to go anger, you know, mad that this happened to her. Depression, you know, she was depressed for a little bit because, you know, it's just the things you need to go through to get to the other side.
Even though it was years later, like 10 years later, I thought I had accepted my injury. But when I came home, it was almost like another transition because I was gone for so long. So now friends had moved on, friends are doing their own thing, they're married. My family, my siblings, they're married, and here I am just living home. I didn't really have a purpose. I really wasn't doing much, but just home all the time.
But when she was in the depression part, it was hard. It was hard to see her like that, because that's not her. And it was also you were waiting for her to yes, come back to life.
I thought I had accepted my injury, but I know I didn't fully accept it. Because if you would see me out, you would see me happy or with a smile on my face. But deep down, if you knew me well, you could tell, there was some anger there. And I think that's normal. And I think everybody goes through this at a different rate. You know, everybody heals in different ways.
You can go down this road and you can be angry and depressed, and no one would blame you for what happened to you. But you're going to be isolating yourself. You're going to lose your family and friends. No one wants to be around that kind of an individual. Or you can go down the other path where you're going to have the same struggles, but you're going to have your family to support, your friends that are going to support you, and get back to that happy Natalie that you are.
I think the shift for me was when I started to turn my focus to helping other people. And then I think that's when I finally really accepted my injury and let go of all the anger.
And it wasn't easy. You know, it took a lot of years for Natalie to get to the point of accepting her injury. And everyone is different. Some people can accept it within the first year or two. Some people, it takes 10, 12, 15 years or more. And some never come to that reality that this is now my life. And when she did, it's like a light, it's like a different person emerged. And she's happy.
It went from depression to, okay, she's here. Okay, I know that this is Natalie, and I know that, you know, she's positive now. She's here.
When I started helping other people, I truly felt like I was no longer a prisoner of my disability or my wheelchair anymore. And I just felt this freedom that, like that weight lifted. And my mom will tell you, she says, that's when I feel like I got all of my Natalie back, you know. And that type of recovery is really what I want for other people, is that freedom where you can do, you're you, and you're not defined by any of this.
She was talking about her disappointment that her area didn't have a rehab center like ours, or nobody could get care after they left the rehab center because it wasn't available. And she started talking about wanting to open a place and had a dream of doing that, which has now since become her place, the Motion Project.
Eventually, through all those years, I realized there has to be a balance. Like, I can't spend my whole life just doing therapy. You know, I wanted to start doing other things too.
She went through all those stages, and when she came out, she was ready. She was like, we're going to make this happen, and it's going to happen. She did.
She wanted to come back here. There was nothing in this area. and start something here to help others so they wouldn't have to travel so far should they have an injury like this.
I think she was down there for a long enough time for her to realize that, you know, she's, I think, done as much as she can do from the recovery angle. And, you know, she wanted to get back home and start living her life. And I think that's when she, you know, started having these aspirations to do, you know, some of these other things and wanting to help people, you know, similar to her situation.
After an injury like this, once, you know, especially from being the therapist and then becoming a patient, it opens your eyes in a different way where you're like, is this really what people go through? And I remember seeing so many of the gaps in our community. I had friends in Atlanta that were going through the same thing, and that bond with people like that, it's just a special bond because you truly understand what each other are going through. And you can help each other heal through all that pain. And I remember going out with people and we could make jokes of the things that would happen if somebody accidentally, you know, peed themselves. Like, we would just laugh about it. And it was like, you know, it's reality. So when I was down there, you know, I remember sharing that I wanted to start a foundation because I really wanted to help people right now for the things that they need. We were hearing stories from people like they were getting denied by insurance for things like shower chairs, things that were like saying that it's a luxury item. Like, how is a shower chair a luxury item? You know, basic necessities that people need. And so I felt like I wanted to make a difference. And I'm all for research, and I know there's organizations that do a lot of funding for research, and I really hope someday there is a cure for an injury like this. But that doesn't help the person immediately. So we started Wheels with Wings in 2008, but because I was still in my rehabilitation, we didn't start fundraising until I think about 2012. And it really felt great to start giving grants to people for things like shower chairs and home modifications, vehicle modifications. A lot of people wanted more rehab. They weren't getting enough. And the reality is the length of stay is drastically shorter. From years ago, inpatient was months. Now the national average is weeks. Outpatient used to be months. Now it's 30 days. That's the national average. How can somebody with a traumatic injury that's a catastrophic, life-changing injury get better and live a fulfilled life with that little bit of rehabilitation? So it really made me so passionate to want to start a center. And I didn't know the first thing. How am I going to start a center? You know, but I knew it needed to be done and that people needed to be able to stay in their hometown to do it. I think the hardest part was knowing where to start, you know, to take that first step in creating something like this. You know, I had hired a consulting company early on to help, and then eventually just went off on my own. And my mom and I decided we're going to do this. And she's been beside me this entire time. And, you know, I have such a great support system with my family that they've all just been able to help me. And I've surrounded myself with an amazing board of directors and some incredible people in the community that have all just really supported me to make this a reality. And I'm so blessed for that, because I think to truly create something special, you need a village, you need a team. And I knew I couldn't do every single thing on my own. And I love that this is this vision and this passion of mine has become my family's, and my parents really have helped me a lot, and my mom works at the center every day. She retired early and said that she would help me get it started, and she did, and I'm so grateful for that. It's Motion Project Foundation, and we named the center the Natalie Barnhard Center for Spinal Cord Injury, Rehabilitation, and Recovery. We don't call it that, but that's the official name of it. Everyone just calls it Motion Project. We started the build out, we found the place. It took me a year to find the right location because I knew what I wanted. I wanted it accessible. I wanted it centrally located so it was easy for people to get to. We're right down the street from the airport. So it's around hotels, amenities. So if we get people from out of town, there's places for them to stay. The build out was during COVID, so that was a challenge. Everything had to stop. And then we eventually were able to pick back up and get the build out finished. But I was able to really create it with my vision and make this space look really like an athletic gym. It's rehabilitation, but it's uplifting and it's energetic and it's just got this fun atmosphere because why should it be depressing? We're all going through a recovery together. And that's one of our taglines is together we move, because we are doing this together. And I want people to walk in or roll in or however they get into that space and just feel good. Even if it's only for that couple hours they're there. They're socializing and they're working on themselves.
Right one's a little tighter than the left, but it's not too bad. You look good. You're color coordinated. That's what matters.
I'm Melissa. I am the lead specialist at Motion Project Foundation. I've been here since it opened, so a little over 3.5 years ago. And for me to see this place start from just concrete and just painted walls to seeing all of the pieces of equipment come here, clients, new staffing, it's been such an experience for me overall. And Motion Project it's kind of like my life. I do a lot here, but also too, because I've been here for so long, I've seen clients start from barely being able to take steps or barely being able to sit upright on themselves to standing. Some of our clients are now walking and they started in a power chair. So for me as a trainer to be a part of a journey like that, it's indescribable and it's the greatest feeling ever to know that you're a part of something like that that's helped someone with their recovery. And it's a constant journey that they're battling so much from their traumatic injuries that they faced. But for us to be a part of it and get their body moving and feeling better and living better, that's the best part. Overall, we want to make sure people are physically and mentally as healthy as possible after these injuries that happen, but also making sure we're striving for, as staff, to exceed expectations and making sure that our clients are living the best life, happy and healthy possible.
My lead therapist, Melissa, is phenomenal. I am so blessed that I found her, met her. She has come so far from when we first hired her to where she is now. And she is just such a light to have at Motion Project. All the clients absolutely adore her. She is constantly learning, and she's just such a remarkable recovery specialist. We are so blessed to have her.
Working with Natalie so closely in getting this off the ground, actually in being on this journey with her from the very beginning, her and I are very, very close. And her passion became my passion as well, just to be able to help other people go through this journey and try to find some sort of steps. I'm proud to be able to be with her along this ride. As a mom, you never lose that mom role, so I still tend to give her the mom advice, well stand behind her decisions because she knows what she wants for this facility, for this center and this population. She knows what it takes to get to the place of recovery. I don't have that journey and that experience, but she does. But I hope that I can guide her in that path and help her make those right decisions.
You know, it was hard being in Atlanta and being away from friends and family because I was so separated. And then coming back, my friends, now I miss my friends there and I don't have a close connection with my friends here. You know, so it's really hard when you have to leave your support system just to get rehabilitation. And then you have to fight the system to get more rehabilitation. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So I really wanted to create a center to provide all those services. So eventually I changed the name from Wheels with Wings to Motion Project because I felt like the word, I loved Wheels with Wings, but Motion Project, I came up with that name because it encapsulates everything. The motion of our life, the motion of our journey, the motion of our body. You know, we're always moving and we're always moving in a direction. And recovery isn't linear, you know. Our logo has circles because, you know, we're always moving, you know. And like I said, it's not this linear, you have your ups, you have your downs, and that's normal. So starting Motion Project in the center was just so much work, but just this labor of love. This just gave me so much joy to create a space where now people can have this community, this connection with other people. They can continue to work on their rehabilitation long after, you know, insurance ends or tells them, you're done, no more for you. And they can get the mental help, the emotional help, and the education. We're now in the process of building a mental health program and other services that will help people. I want to create a space that is holistic. So we can help the caregivers, we can help family members, we can help the person going through it in so many ways.
She had always had that in her DNA. She always, even from a child, she used to want to be a veterinarian, wanted to help the animals. Then going into physical therapy to help people.
There's probably going to be a lot of work in this for us as her family. You know, but it was exciting. It was exciting for her to have goals and have something to want to do and feel like she has a purpose again. You know, so it was really nice to hear that she wanted to do something like that.
Go through such a life-changing injury like that, there's so many things that change, there's so many things that you have to think about, and one of those things is how you're going to get the care that you need. And for a lot of people in this area, and for Natalie herself, it would have to be looking outside of this area. And so, you know, you would have to spend many years, like Natalie did, outside of the area, away from your friends and away from your family. That's a lot of time, precious time with them that's lost. But I think her being able to bring that to Buffalo so that people in this area can get the help they need and stay here with their family and friends is such a huge benefit and a huge weight off of their shoulders in such a tragic time in their life.
Her resilience is exactly what I expected from her. I have seen her get injured before and her bounce back up. There's nothing that really can stop Natalie when she puts her mind to anything.
Natalie has expressed several times how upset that she was that she didn't have anybody like, the rest of her siblings were all getting married and had people in their lives. She saw all of her friends get married And she was really down on herself for not having that in her life as well. And Steve came in and just absolutely changed all of that.
Steve and I met online, and it was amazing because I never thought I would find love like that.
Steve was the one that she was playing her game with when we came here for New Year's Eve a few years ago, which we didn't know at the time. We came here for her New Year's Eve party, and Natalie was buried in her phone all night, and we didn't know it was because she was on the game with Steve.
My initial reaction when I heard they bet online was, "Are you crazy?"
I was super ecstatic. Natalie had talked to a few guys throughout her injury and would confide in me when it didn't work out, or she was nervous to send him a picture of her in a wheelchair. And so when she had met Steve, she told me how she met him on the game.
I thought Steve was great. I thought, he seemed like he had a really big heart. He seemed very compassionate right from the start, right when I first met him. And I was so happy that the two of them met each other,
I went through a really hard breakup, and the person couldn't do it. It was just too hard. So I felt like if somebody that loved me couldn't do it, or so-called loved me couldn't do it, why would anybody else?
Just scared. She had met so many people that had let her down, and, whatever, they would use her, or they just didn't, have the good intentions. And, why would somebody that lives in Maryland be interested in somebody that lives in Buffalo and that's in a wheelchair? And, it's scary. And, I always have been protective of her, and, that's what Natalie.
And Natalie knew my thoughts about online, because I thought, you need to meet a person.
Why would a man choose this when he could just have an able-bodied woman? These were just things I was telling myself, And meeting him changed all of that for me.
Well, I really didn't feel much about him. I know he had sent her flowers, and Natalie really wouldn't say no to their from. And I have to give him credit. He, for 2 years, she came up here. I drove up to Baltimore every weekend to be with her. So, it was impressive.
But then when she explained a little bit more that it was on a gaming site, and that it really wasn't a dating site, and that she was a moderator on this site, and they actually just started chatting back and forth and had so much in common. So I thought, well, all right, maybe it isn't as bad as I think.
And I think he's such a great guy. I think he is absolutely perfect for her. She's perfect for him, and I'm so happy that the two of them are together.
I think Steve's been pretty forthcoming, throughout his relationship with Natalie. And as long as he treats her the way that she needs to be treated, then that's great. I mean, and I think she found somebody like that. He seems to be pretty genuine, down to earth type of guy. He seems to be pretty caring, which is obviously what Natalie needs, and not selfish. So far it's been good for them. So,
but I still, was sure about it. But now I can see he's a good man, and he takes care of us, and that's what matters to me. And I'm glad that, she found someone, because I would never want her to see her go through life alone. I mean, she has siblings, but they end their own lives. And I know that being there for us is nothing like, having somebody by your side. So yes, I'm very happy for her.
It showed me that there is somebody out there that's going to love me for me, and I am. And I love that. And that I want to give other women hope. And guys too, that men and women hope that they can find a good relationship too, and for somebody that'll love them. I was a moderator on this game chat, which was really ironic, especially not moderating or not being a gamer. And one of the biggest rules was that it wasn't a dating site. And, we just started chatting and, became friends, became close. And over time, months of talking and just getting to know each other online, we finally met in person and just had such an amazing connection.
Neither of us really gamers, but here we were playing a game. It was kind of like a blackjack kind of game, and there was a chat room in there, and we were friends at first. I was coming out of a marriage and was certainly not looking to get into a relationship, but as things progressed, our relationship did.
I actually really liked that we got to know each other online first, because you kind of take the physical component out of it, so you really get to know somebody. For me, I was really scared because as I started to get to know him and like him, I knew at some point I was going to have to share my injury with him and disability, and that was terrifying because I did not know how somebody was going to react. And in the past with dating, I knew it could go one of two ways. Somebody was either going to be accepting and say, it's okay, I still want to meet, or they were going to just completely reject you. And because I really liked him, I was so nervous. And I remember telling him, there's something I need to tell you. And I told him by just sending him a picture of me in the chair. And his response was, and? ? And I'll let him share why he said that and was so okay with it.
Yeah, my father had muscular dystrophy. So he was in a wheelchair for a good part of his adult life. So being around somebody with a disability in a wheelchair was nothing new to me. So it was just another day at the ball game, if you will. So I had no problems with it. I was used to it.
He was able to see me for me and get to know me for who I am and not see the disability.
Hey, do you want to take this further? And it was, yeah. So the next step at that point was to meet in person.
I think after we met initially, there was just this level of comfortability that I had with him that I'd never had with anybody. As nervous as I was to meet him, we were so comfortable. And I was like, okay, but you live in Maryland. And I just figured, maybe I'll see him in a month. And he just said, no, I want to come again. And every weekend he would drive 6.5 hours one way to come and see me, and showed his dedication. And as I got to know him more and more, I just knew he was somebody different and somebody so special that I really could see myself being with long term.
In the beginning, it was all about paying attention, learning. Again, with my father, there was, a lot that I had to do for him above and beyond with somebody who's able-bodied needs, but I wanted to be a part of it. It's, learning to curl her hair, learning what eyeliner is, learning what a pencil is, learning what eyeshadow is, and what brush to hand. And I wanted to learn it all because if my future was going to be with her long term, it was something I needed to do. And it's something that I wanted to do, and it's something that I enjoy doing.
I had to teach him how to curl my hair and hand me different brushes so I could do my makeup. But I was really scared to let him in to my whole world, because I kept feeling like, is there going to be a moment where it's just too much? where he's going to say, you know, okay, I can do this, but I can't do that. Or it's just I was just scared, you know. It is a lot, and I know I do need a lot of help, and you don't know if somebody's going to be able to do all of that for you. And long term, it's one thing to say, okay, I can do it in the short term, but are you going to be able to do it forever? Because this injury, like, it's not changing. You know, this is what it is. Yeah, like the challenges, like he shared, just navigating, you know, making sure his girls were okay, and, you know, building up a relationship with me, with them, because I wanted to get to know them, and finding the right time to do that and get to know them. And then the second part would just be, I think there's just the challenge of him getting to know all of my care, so we could truly be a couple and travel without caregivers. Oh, it's an amazing feeling knowing that a man is willing to drop everything and change his entire life for you. And it made me really see how serious he was about me, and how much he really did care about me, and how much he did love me. We truly are best friends. And that's not just a saying, oh, my partner is my best friend. Like, he is my best friend. I tell him everything. He tells me everything. Like, we just always want to be together. And I'm just so glad he did choose to leave, and chose to leave and build a life here.
We're both rooted in our faith, and we both believe that the good Lord had brought us together. So we had our trust in him, and it's just never felt wrong. It's always felt right.
That was just my fear a little bit. Like, you know, in 10 years, I'm not going to all of a sudden need less care or less help. And he always just gave me that reassurance that I love you so much, and I love helping you, and you are everything I've ever wanted, you know? And so he helped those fears go away. Our dynamic, we are goofy, we are fun, sarcastic. Let's see. We love doing everything together. We're so supportive of each other and our goals and the things that we want for each other. We're so strong because there's nothing I feel like we can't do together. You know, I know that I can lean on you for anything and share anything I'm going through. And you're always there to support me. If I'm upset, I'm sad. And you give me not only that shoulder to cry on, but you also help me to navigate, like, okay, if there's a problem or a situation, how do we get through this? And I always feel like I have a true partner and a backbone. And that's aside from the personalities that click and the love and, you know, all the things that we have in common. It's just, you know, I just feel like our faith and that we're rooted with God first, and that we put each other above anything else.
I love who she is as a person. There's not a single thing I would change about her. We click so well in every way, shape, or form. When she's happy, I'm happy. When she's sad, I'm sad. It's really cheesy. It's part of what makes us a disgustingly cute hot mess, is we will finish each other's thoughts. And we both genuinely want to help the other. And I love that about her. I love that I can call her and say, hey, I have a problem. Can you handle this for me? And I know it'll get taken care of. So I love who she is as a person. I love her smile. I love the way she lights up a room. I love the way she can flip the switch from being goofy and sarcastic to being serious to going right back to being goofy and sarcastic again. I guess everything in short.
I'm so grateful to have that, where I can come home and unload some things on him and have a husband that says, let me help you. You know, we worked on different things together as a team, you know, some proposals and things like that as a team. So I love it. I love that he's, you know, inspired by it and, you know, doesn't look at it like, oh, you know, you gotta work. That he just supports his wife in something so big. Yeah, you know, I don't think I really would be where I'm at in my journey if it wasn't for my faith. There was a lot of times that I didn't want to give up, and I had a hard time with Motion Project and with wanting to help others. I think that's the passion that God has given me, you know, to say, you have been through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and to be able to take that and then use it so that other people don't have to go through maybe as difficult of a time, or they feel like they have more support in their journey, and their journey is just a little bit easier. You know, that's what I want. I want to just show people they can have such a beautiful quality of life. And my faith has played such an important role, because God is always teaching me, you know, more and more every day to be patient and to love other people. And I feel like I really lost some of myself in the beginning of my injury, especially career-wise, you know, because I used my physical body to help people. And it was God that showed me that I can still have a huge purpose. And I don't need all of my physical abilities to create something and help other people. And other people can do the same thing.
Keep moving forward. Every day life's going to hit you with a different set of challenges, and you have a choice every day to either stay down or get back up. We are living proof that there is somebody for someone out there. And no matter how dark your days seem right now, the pendulum's going to swing the other way, and it's going to be brighter days. There's going to be seasons of joy and happiness. And as long as you continue to fight your fight, you will enjoy that one day.
The last 20 years have been hard. It's been a journey, and it was tough seeing a lot of my friends and a lot of my family just get married, find their person, and it was something I really wanted too, you know, and I was just scared. I was getting older. I was scared I was just not going to find that. And when I found him and he came into my life, it was like so much changed. And getting to marry this man was the best day of my life. There was just so much emotion that day. I was so happy. And knowing that I get to spend forever with him and have somebody by my side that loves and adores me to pieces, and that loves me the way that I love back. You know, we each give each other truly what the other needs, with love and support. And oh, wow, yeah.
This love story that's just fabulous, and they are together, meeting life and moving forward, and I just think it's wonderful. I was lucky enough to be invited and attend Natalie's wedding to Steve in Buffalo.
I know. I was like focused on Steve going down the aisle, and then I see Patty, and I was like so excited because her and my mom lied to me. Yeah, I had invited her and she said she couldn't make it, and I was really bummed, but apparently she could. So they kept that a surprise, but it was the best surprise. So I was so excited that she was able to come. It really meant a lot. And I was also really excited she got to see the center too.
I am so happy that Natalie did end up creating the Motion Project because it is a world-class place. It's like every piece of equipment that Shepherd has, Natalie has, and some. And the people in that region really have a treasure in that place. And then Natalie being an advocate for someone who, went through the injury, had to spend years down in Atlanta away from home to get this type of therapy, has created this for people in her region. And she, and actually her parents, like her mother, helps do peer support for other people's parents. And so they are reaching out to the community and giving back in a way that is unsurpassed. I am just really, really happy. I got to see it when I went to her wedding, and it is something else.
I was with her the day she opened the doors of the recovery center, and I have watched that place grow by leaps and bounds over the past few years, and it feels amazing. It feels great to know that that is my wife who has brought the only recovery center within 300 miles to Western New York to help those with a spinal cord injury. An injury like Natalie's, it's real easy to give up on life, and she didn't. She bared down. She said, I'm not going to let what happened to me happen to others. I'm going to make sure that the people of Western New York are able to stay right here, and she did it.
She's such a strong person. She's the strongest person I know, and she's always wanted to help people, and she's always been a helper. I mean, we were very involved in church, very involved in missions trips and things like that. So she was always wanting to help people, and one of her dreams in doing what she did, she loved being a massage therapist. She loved doing the physical therapy, and she wanted to be able to help people. And she always wanted like a holistic center and to open up something where, everybody could get the help that they needed. And then once she was injured and she realized that there was not a center like this in the Western New York area, or really anywhere close, that was an amazing goal for her. And the fact that she was able to make that happen is just amazing to me.
And it was like a culmination of years because she has put her life back together, started living on her own, getting her own attendant care or assistance, starting the Motion Project, but then ultimately falling in love. And these two are such a great couple. And the culmination of all this, and like I said about Natalie, she's risen up like a phoenix and has gotten this love story that's just fabulous. And they are together, meeting life and moving forward. And I just think it's wonderful.
I was just really happy for them. I think they did a lot of the little, maybe cheesy, corny things that people do on weddings. But I also kind of thought good for them because, I know Natalie, and hopefully all of us, we get married once, but, she hadn't really had an opportunity. She didn't date. She didn't get to do maybe a lot of things that other people do before they get married. So I think she took the opportunity to do every little thing that she wanted to do. And her and Steve were both happy as could be. I mean, they were really both just, that was their day and everybody knew it.
I was so ecstatic to see her get married. She seemed the happiest that she had ever been in her entire life on her wedding day. Steve seemed just as happy as well. Our whole family, all of our friends, we were all just so happy to see her achieve yet another life accomplishment, and just to see her just beaming and just so happy. It was so great to see.
And just seeing them get married and her glowing and that smile that wouldn't leave her face. It's everything that I hoped for my sister. I'm so happy for them. Seeing Natalie and Steve together, building all of these things, a life, a home, a family, is amazing. It's great to watch her journey, again, from where she started and the fact that she didn't even think she was going to have any of this. And then to watch her brother Michael get married, me get married, our brother Nicholas get married. She still didn't think it was going to happen until she met Steve.
With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. For many years, I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. I didn't have my self-esteem or my value, and it took a lot of time and healing and my faith in God to really get to that point, and my healing where if you would ask me if I could take it all back, I wouldn't take it back, because this injury has allowed me to do things I never thought I was capable of, to meet people in my life that I never would have, and do something bigger than myself. And that is so special. It's something so profound that I am just honored and blessed to be able to use my injury, my story, to hopefully help the next person. A lot of my injury, I look at like this huge mountain, and you don't see any light, you don't see any sky, and you just take one step at a time. And eventually you start to see a little bit of light shine through, and a little bit of sun, and eventually you look down and you're like, wow, look how far I've climbed.
Oh, I'm just so proud of her, and it's such a beautiful center, and she's just come so far, and just amazes me.
I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of my sister that she did all of this for so many people to benefit from. That's basically, I'm just so proud of her.
She just has a passion, to make people, I guess, as happy as they can be if they sustain an injury like this. I think her going through it herself and experiencing probably every emotion she could, every physical challenge out there, from brushing her own teeth to not being able to drive a car, I think all of those things give her a sense of purpose and happiness, being able to help other people at least achieve something from their injury, if there can be some positive out of it.
With Natalie creating Motion Project and her center, I think that's been extremely inspirational, and I'm very proud of the strength that she's had to be able to do something like that. Even able-bodied people, don't achieve such great accomplishments, and for her to be able to overcome everything that she's had to go through, such a life-changing event, and still be able to do those things is such a huge inspiration for us to see, and I'm very proud of her for that.
She stayed true to her faith in God and trusting Him in her journey. She stayed true to the determination that she had for her own recovery. She persevered through challenges that many would easily give up. She has a heart of caring for others that just inspires anyone that comes in contact with her. And in creating this center was just a way of her giving back to her community for the support that everyone had given her.
I think it's been a long road over the 20 years. I think there's been a lot of ups and downs, good times, hard times. Ultimately, I want to believe that it brought us all a little bit closer.
Seeing all the things that she can do makes me think, why can't I do something similar? Or why can't I work that hard as well? It makes me want to work harder. It makes me want to be more determined, more persistent, just like she is, as my big sister, and seeing everything that she's done. It's been really inspirational for me.
I think finally being able to overcome and realize that, there's a lot of other things that she can do, and not let something like this consume her, I think is what I'd be most proud of. The fact that, she was able to open up her recovery center, help other people, get married, have a husband, build a house. I mean, I think that's great. I mean, that's huge.
Natalie, I'm so proud of you for the strength that you have to get through this life-changing injury, and seeing how far that you've come has been nothing short of amazing, and I hope you keep going with it.
She amazes me. She's one of a kind.
We're all people, everybody goes through stuff, you know what I mean? And everybody needs help at some point in their life, whether it comes from family or friends, it's just about being good people. And, I think it brought us all a little bit closer, realizing that, life is short, and, if somebody needs help them. We all need it. So, just to be there for each other.
So Natalie has a good heart. And again, we said it before, she has this passion of helping people. It's so, she can only go so far herself physically, but I think it's comforting to her when she sees other people getting better because of the center. I think that's rewarding for her. But I just want to say, I've got, Marilyn and I have 4 amazing kids. We really do. And we're a tight family. And I know that in a heartbeat, they would be there for Natalie. And she knows that we love her and that we're so proud and happy for her.
I am just so proud of the faith that you have, the compassion that you hold for other people, the heart that you have to want to give back and to help others on this journey. The fact that you found recovery, while it's not a physical recovery, but it's the emotional recovery to live your best life. And I'm so proud to see you living that best life and to see you as happy as you are today, fulfilling your dream of helping other people with a center and enjoying your life as a married wife.
She knows that I'm very proud of her, and I am so happy for her that she has found the love of her life, that she has stuck to this commitment of opening up this center and made her accomplishments. I just love her. Yeah.
Look at you now. From where you started, look at you now.